Hi YouTube, this is Angela getting back with you. I know it's been a while. Just wanted to come back and check in with everyone. So just to go back over the numbers, I had my surgery last year, January 8th, 2013. And I've finally reached my year. I reached my year on January 8th of this year, but I hadn't really been back on since I went to the doctor. So I just wanted to give an update. And when you have your 1 year, that's whenever they go over all your lab work. They're gonna test your vitamin deficiency. They're gonna test your iron. They're gonna make sure you aren't being like malnourished or anything. Well, I didn't think I would have any issues with that because I feel like I eat enough to where I wouldn't be malnourished. But and I take my vitamins every day. I take B12 every day. I take vitamin D every single day, just like the doctor told me, and my numbers were excellent. Um, my doctor's like, you're evidently doing everything you're supposed to be doing because all of your numbers are perfect. My only issue, which I was having those issues before, I have low iron, and that process started before the surgery, so I have to work on my iron. And then I don't know if this is the case for a lot of people, but for me, the iron really it upsets my stomach. I feel sick or whatnot, so I'm gonna have to find another way to get my iron in. But other than that, all my numbers were perfect. My blood pressure has been perfect. I haven't had a pill since the day of surgery, and it's steady. I haven't had any instances where I've gone to the doctor and my blood pressure has been like high. So that's extremely well. My so I'm gonna tell the truth because I think everybody needs to know the full story, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So as I said, the good is your health does take a turn for the better as far as your life expectancy, as far as your energy level, as far as your confidence. All those things really do change. The surgery really helps with all of those things. And let me start off by saying I wouldn't trade the surgery for anything in the world because it has really made a difference in my life, and I feel like I'm just a better me, and then health wise. When I went back for my year checkup, though, I'm gonna tell you what's crazy. The nurse that I initially talked to, she was the one who encouraged me about the gastric sleeve and everything, and I had been back a few times, but it had been a year. So how about the nurse walked by me and didn't even know who I was? She didn't even recognize me. She was like, she walked by me. She wasn't seeing me that day, so she walked by me, and I told one of the other nurses who did recognize me. She was like, I said, you know what? Christelle didn't even recognize me. I don't think she realized who I was. And she's like, I know she probably didn't because I barely recognized you. Had you not smiled, I would not have even known that was you. She's like, you look amazing. I was like, okay. So when I got ready to leave, I was like, is Christelle with a patient? And so the girl was like, yeah. I was like, I would like to see her. I said, because she didn't even recognize me, and I want her to know this is me. And so she was with the patient. She's like, well, she's with the patient, but it'll be a few minutes. She's like, do you want to wait? I was like, yeah, I sure do. And so after that, I waited for about 10 minutes, and then I was like, okay. So she came out. I was like, Christelle, do you know who I am? I was like, look at me. And so she looked at me. She was like, oh my God. She's like, I did not recognize you. You look great. I was like, oh, thank you. I was like, I just could not leave here. I was like, because you were the reason. And so I told her, I say, thank you so much. Thank you so much for encouraging me to get the gastric sleeve. That was the best decision ever. And I was like, I have no regrets whatsoever. And so we talked for a little bit, and she's like, make sure when you come in this office, you always stop to talk to me. I say, I will, because I am forever grateful to you. So that was a good thing. So now, the bad, let me tell you what the bad is. The bad is, no matter whether you have this surgery or not, You have to learn self-discipline, because if you don't, you will find yourself after a while. At first, when you first have the surgery, you're just so focused on, I want to do everything right, I want to make sure I don't eat too much, I want to make sure this, I want to make sure that. But after a while, after a year of it, you eventually get to the place where you just get relaxed, and it's like you start picking up some of those old habits that you had, like eating junk food. And you know, you can't really binge because it won't let you binge, but you can gain weight. And I think the last few videos I had done, I had been talking about how I was snacking and stuff like that. And okay, so I had started back snacking and stuff, and I was like, dang, I don't understand. At night, I just get ravenous with these snacks. Okay, you can't eat meals, but you can snack as much as you want to. That's the downside to sleep. So you still have to have discipline, or you're gonna gain weight, or you're not gonna lose weight. So just going back over the numbers, I started out, I was 268, and today I am at 192. Just for an absolute example is, I have been going between 184 and 188, you know, back and forth for months now, you know, since, I'm sure since definitely since the beginning of the year. So that was my, you know, little window where I would gain and lose. So I kind of expected that. Well, last week I got on the scale and I gained 4 pounds in a week, and I was like, oh my God. Well, I chopped some of it up to being, I had started drinking sodas, and sodas, they bloat me, they make me gain weight, they make me retain, I'll say retain fluid and stuff. So when I saw the scale go up 4 pounds, I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, okay, no, we ain't gonna do this. So I was started at 268, I got down to 184, and now I'm at 192. And so I was like, okay, so I'm about to be at 10 pounds gain. So and my goal weight is 180, so I'm just like right at the door 180. So I just was like, okay. So then I just looked over it. I was like, okay, it's the snacking. You're snacking way too much. And then after a while, you do start to eat more. You know, like at one point, you could only take like after a few bites, you just can't eat anymore. Well, you know, after a year, you can eat more than a few bites, but you still can't. You can't stuff yourself like before. But if you're eating, or even if you're eating more than what you were eating, then you're gonna tend to gain weight. I haven't exercised all winter. I never exercise in the winter, so I'm still not so upset about it, because I know that once I start exercising, I'm gonna lose everything what I've gained and some. So with that being said, that's the ugly part. You still have to learn discipline. You still have to do the work. I mean, it's not like just hands off and I can do anything. But the good thing is, it took a long time for it to even show up, because I've been snacking since like January. It took a long time for it to catch up with me, is what I'm trying to say. So, but you know, the thing is, I know what to do. I know how to get back to where I was. And it's not like I'm so far, it's not like I gained 20 pounds, you know. I haven't even gained 10, but I'm close enough. Once I hit that 190 mark, I was like, oh no, this is not gonna work. It's time to get back on it. And you just have to do the same thing and keep motivated and keep moving. But I have no doubts, once I start exercising, I'm gonna start losing, and I'm kind of scared I'm gonna go too low. But that being said, the ugly is, okay, so I don't know if a lot of people know this, and these are things that you learn after the fact, but anytime you are heavy like that, I didn't realize this until I did a little research and then talking to doctor and stuff. But you know, when your fat is where your hormones are held. So as a woman, mainly women, especially women, anytime you gain and lose weight, your hormones will change. Well, when you lose an extreme amount of weight, which in all I've lost like anywhere from, I think, 73, 75, somewhere in between there, I can't think right now. Anytime you lose that amount of weight, and it was a year, which was a good for. I didn't lose it really fast, except in the beginning. But after that, it was rather slow. But anytime you lose that amount of fat, your body goes through so many hormonal changes till, I mean, I'm sure your body's just all over the place with the hormones, on top of other things. Well, when you start losing weight, there's a possibility, and this is not for everybody, so don't let it scare you. When you start losing weight, many people have to end up having gallbladder surgery after they have weight loss surgery because of the fast weight loss or the amount of weight you lose. I had to have my gallbladder removed, and just so I say that the surgery it wasn't a bad surgery at all. You know, it was the same as the weight loss surgery. Well, not weight loss. This is you go to a surgery center, it's done in one day, you're home, and then in a few days you're back up and running. So I did have to have the gallbladder surgery. No big issues with that. Like I said, it's common when a lot of people lose that amount of weight. Well, last year around, well, let me say this, and this might be TMI, but I'm going to tell you the truth, and this is for the women. But didn't just start when I had the surgery. I had been having female issues since I turned about 40. I had started having issues with my monthly, and so it had been going on for like years, and I never really looked into it. Well, last year, around November, it started getting really, I started having really bad issues other than irregularity. I don't know if I said that right. It was being irregular. Then I started having other issues. And so I was like, oh my goodness, I was like, what is going on here? I need to really know what's going on. So I went to my doctor, who sent me to have some tests done, and come to find out, they kind of scared me. And so they were like, we want to do an ultrasound, and they did the ultrasound, and they found that I had fibroids, and I had something called polyps. And I was like, oh my goodness, I was like, I didn't even know, how would I have known? I never would have known all these years. So when I went to the gynecologist, they were like, you have both, and you need to have a procedure to have this corrected. And so when I went and did my research on things like fibroids and polyps and stuff like that, you find out that a lot of these things can be results of your hormone changes and things like that. Your age, your hormone changes. It's a lot of different things, and I'm not gonna say the surgery caused it, but I have talked to a couple of people who have had the surgery who ended up having problems, female problems, after the fact. Another girl that works with me that had the surgery, she had to end up having to have a hysterectomy. And so I was just like, oh my goodness, I said, I just think it's just your body's going through so many hormone changes till, you know, it's just something you're going to have to deal with. And it's a possibility. Don't let this scare you. I'm sure it doesn't happen to everybody. It's just some people, especially when you're extremely heavy and you lose a lot of weight. The other thing is that I started last year sometime having problems with rashes on my body. So of course, you know, I go online and I'm looking it up, and I found out that a lot of people actually do end up having skin rashes as a result of, you know, having the surgery. Well, can you imagine, you know, you've been carrying this weight around for, like me, over 40 years, and then you lose the weight, your skin is just in shock. It seems like it happens more for women more so than for men. My skin, I know it's in shock. It's just like, what's going on? You know, you were this big, now you this big. But so I broke out in this rash. I had, you know, itching on my arms and itching on my legs, and my neck broke out, and I was like, oh my God. And then like every crease that there is on my body, I had these rashes on my body, and I was like, oh my goodness. So I have been home treating them for months now. And I was just like, you know what? I give up. I gotta go to the doctor. I finally went to the doctor, and she said the same things. Your hormones are unbalanced, and your body is just going through this transition. And she's like, it won't always be this way, But until your hormones get back in balance, you know, things like this are bound to happen. So of course she gave me all these creams and stuff I'm gonna have to take. But you know what, I still think back, and even though there's good, there's bad, and there's ugly, I would still do it all over again. I could deal with a little bit of skin rashes. I can deal with, you know, my female issues, some of which I think I would have had regardless, because like I said, some of my issues started long before. But I would do it all over again. So with that being said, I am still happy I did the surgery. I feel good. My energy is great. I'm doing things. I went indoor skydiving in March for my daughter's birthday. I didn't just take her, I did it. I mean, it was so much fun. The weight limit on that is 250 pounds. It just made me feel good that I wasn't even 200 pounds and I was able to do it, and I was able to fly. So that was one of my adventures this year. I have a bucket list of things I plan to do now that I've lost a lot of the weight. So like I said, I started at 268. Today I'm 192, and I'm getting ready to hit that 180. I'm getting ready to start back exercising and focusing on eating healthier. But one thing I can say, it took a long time for the snack. It's not like, you know, every day I have something sweet. So it may not it doesn't have to be anything big, but, and it really didn't catch up to me until I started overdoing it, you know, because like I'll usually at work I eat completely healthy. When I come home, my problem is at night I like to snack, you know, just before going to bed I have some snacks, and that's the worst thing you could do. I don't know why I got to that again, but when I was eating my snacks in moderation, no problem. I wasn't gaining weight. I was still losing weight. I could eat my popcorn. I was still losing weight. So it's not just like just because you eat something sweet, you're going to automatically gain weight. That's not the case. This is extreme overeating. Like I had started snacking, eating candy bars and chips and stuff at work. And then I would come home and eat popcorn and peanuts and candy at home also. So I know that if it's done in moderation, you have no issues and you won't gain weight and you could still lose weight. So for me, I just wanted to tell the truth. You know, people come on here and they act like, oh, I just eat all healthy. I don't have any bad days. You know, I'm the perfect person since I had this. No, that is not true. Everybody has their days. You just have to learn how to discipline yourself. Just like if you didn't have it, you said, and it's not as hard now. That's the thing. You do have a tool to help you to get to where you want. So other than that, everything is good. I'm gonna do a quick body shot. These jeans are, you remember when I came on before and I was telling you about my Old Navy 14s? These are my Old Navy 14s. And look at these. Look at this. So at this point, I do think I'm kind of like, I'm between a 12 and a 14. I haven't even tried on a 12 yet to see. And the thing is, the other thing is that even though the scale has gone up, I am still losing inches. So my clothes size hasn't changed, and what's crazy is pants are fitting looser in the thigh area, and a lot of that has to do with, because even though I haven't been going to the gym or anything, at my job I have to walk so far to get into the building now. I do a lot of walking at work. So I think that is still toning. And I started this week lifting weights for my arms, because you know I told you this is my pet peeve right here, my arms. So I'm getting ready to work that out. I'm thinking about getting a trainer just to try to help me, because I feel like I've lost the majority of the weight I want to lose, but now it's just about toning everything up. And thank God I don't have a whole lot of extra skin. I do have some, but it's not even enough to even matter, not even enough to where I would even want to do any type of surgery. But like I said, everything's good. If you have any questions, if you want to know anything, just leave me a message and I'll definitely get back with you. Been missing you guys. Hopefully next time I'll be back sooner. So if you're thinking about having a surgery, these are some of the good things, some of the bad things. Hopefully this will help you, but I promise you, anything you go through is nothing compared to the life that you will have, your quality of life you'll have once you have the surgery. So I could deal with all these little teeny other issues. We'll handle them and we'll move on. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'll get back with you. Talk to you soon. Bye.